I'm not close with my brother Thomas and his wife Sarah at all. The only times I see them are at family get-togethers, and we barely talk even then. So, we're all at my parents' place last weekend for my dad's birthday dinner, right? And during the dinner, Sarah somehow figures out that Thomas's 3 kids were the culprits behind the mishaps at their wedding. When she notices that I'm not even surprised, she flips out, realizing I knew about it all along and never told her for 6 whole years. I hit back, telling her that Thomas, her own husband, knew about it even before I did, and he never told her either. She was stunned, didn't buy it at first. But Thomas? He wasn't quick enough to hide his reaction. It became pretty obvious. Then Thomas gets mad at me for spilling the beans, saying I should have just admitted I knew and kept quiet about him knowing too. Then I called him out, straight up called him a hypocrite. And he fires back, saying I had no business throwing him under the bus. Turns out, a few other family members had their suspicions too. My sister's 3 kids definitely knew something, and it might have been the youngest who spilled the beans, but I can't be sure. My sister and my parents had their doubts, but they never really knew for sure. Sarah and Thomas didn't stick around much longer after that blow-up, but Thomas made it crystal clear he thought I was being a total childish princess for pulling that stunt. The background. Thomas was married before to his kids' mom. She died when they were 5, 6, and 7 years old. Thomas met Sarah 7 months later and married her 13 months after his first wife died. He didn't cheat on his first wife, at least not with Sarah. He just moved very fast when he met her and was already going to date again when they met. Sarah was very eager to be a mom to the kids. She had known them for 3 months. When she told them that she was going to love being their mom, their wedding was quickly planned. The kids were not happy. They said it was moving too fast. They didn't want a new mom, and Thomas and Sarah didn't listen to them. Sarah even wrote these very emotionally driven vows for the kids, promising she'd always be there for them, and wasn't just promising herself to their dad as his wife, but to the 3 of them to be their mom. The kids took the vows and burned them. They also messed with the wedding cake, hid the necklace Sarah wanted to wear on their wedding day, threw my brother's wedding ring away, and took the tie he was supposed to wear that was gifted by Sarah's dad. Sarah was completely devastated by all the stuff that went wrong at the wedding. I actually found out about it on the wedding day itself. Back then, I was just 16. I ended up taking the kids with me because my brother was furious they wouldn't fix their mess. Fast forward, all 3 of those kids cut ties with Thomas and Sarah as soon as they turned 18 and moved out. She was so shocked when they went no contact. Even though everyone else saw it coming over the years, none of them were okay with things. Thomas remains angry over what happened at the wedding, but never told Sarah, and Sarah remains oblivious and thought the kids would one day accept her as their mom if she kept calling herself dad. Am I the idiot for telling my sister-in-law? My brother knew what went wrong on their wedding day for all these years. Well, that's messed up. In regards to your question, I'm not the idiot. I left Sarah stupid. She should have put 2 and 2 together. Who else is going to sabotage your wedding? In the big picture, man. Are these 2 seriously clueless or what? Sure, it's fine for some people to move on fast, but expecting the kids to do the same? That's just unrealistic. And to practically demand, for lack of a better word, that they instantly start seeing her as their mom? That's way too much, too soon. All that chaos at the wedding was a huge red flag. It was a clear sign that the kids needed more time to adjust. Perhaps therapy and not a click. Your mom is dead. Now say hello to your new mom. That's pathetic. I mean, just, wow, a little over a year. And hey, kids, here's your new mom. Gross. Children, especially at that age, experience the trauma of that magnitude much differently than us. Mom was there, but suddenly she was not. It's not a get over it. Here's a new model situation. The kids' feelings should have had some say in this. Clearly they weren't happy about this. Sarah had rose-colored glasses and never really understood the depth of the children's animosity. AP, you were 16 when it happened. This was not your story to tell. Also, people always like to get mad at the messenger. And so I understand why at 16. Staying out of the drama was probably the smartest move. By doing that, you were shielding the kids, intentionally or not, from their stepmom's anger. Honestly, it's hard to say what the best call was in this scenario, but keeping that info from her was probably for the best. Oh, and by the way, I teach some female students who have a severe stutter. I'm fortunate to have a great support network, but some days are especially challenging. Anxiety and stress make it worse. I'm a pianist by profession and play at various events, wedding receptions, ceremonies, dinners, etc. So I have to deal with the social aspects of my job all the time. Recently, I was hired as a last-minute option to play at a family dinner. The details were pretty much kept under wraps, but I was paid well, so I knew it would be a posh family, that is, ultra-specific demands, being invisible when I'm not playing, etc. However, it went very well. And afterward, I chatted with the couple's daughter for a bit. She was very, very sweet. Then as I was about to leave, her brother approached me and said he had met anyone with a stutter before. I replied that I'd never met an idiot before, and he gave an even snarkier reply, saying that it still hurt even though he was prepared for the punchline. Then he explained that he was just trying to make conversation, and that I should be more thoughtful of what I say since I have all the time in the world to choose carefully. At that moment, I just didn't care anymore and walked off. But then, later that evening, he texted me out of the blue, demanding an apology. So, I hit him back with a long text, basically calling him a pathetic loser who gets a kick out of bullying people like me. His only response was a single wow. A few days later, his sister calls me up, telling me he's all upset about our exchange, and claiming that I was way too harsh on him. She said she's never seen her brother so dejected, and that it disturbs her spirit. I didn't even know what to say since it all felt unprofessional, and I didn't want to leave a bad impression either. She even advised me to talk it out with him. So, am I the idiot for the way I handled the situation? Of course, he was an idiot. But did I take it too far? Not the idiot. He was incredibly rude. However, try to avoid sending long snarky texts to clients, even if it's deserved. It won't serve to help you in the long run. I believe you wouldn't want him to post any of that on any type of review-based site for you. You are the idiot. A screenshot would be horrible, especially if taken out of context. Maybe don't call clients names in the first place. This guy is a tool, no question. But who's going to hire her again after this? Sure, but they won't recommend her friends either. On the other hand, I do find it rich that Opie complains about unprofessional behavior. The guy I think was hitting on her. I really don't see any reason to bother dealing with him anymore. But if Opie thinks her response was professional? No way, sweetie, just no. That didn't do her any favors. And about meeting someone with a stutter for the first time? Oh, how thrilling for both of us. Seriously, that guy needs a lesson in when to zip it. Being insulting isn't the same as flirting. Let's not keep spreading that ridiculous idea. Your response could have been softer, but it's not the first time someone has been that blatant. Had he been ashamed or embarrassed by your response, either you could have snuck into idiot territory. His comment was dumb, and his insistence that you must apologize validates your position. You could have learned something, but he chose to be a victim instead. His texting you later was way out of line, unless you personally gave him your phone number, which you obviously did not. Solid. Not the idiot. I'm nearly adult female having a dinner for my upcoming birthday. There'll be a photographer there. So I wanted everyone to be presentable. So I had all my friends send me pictures of what they plan on wearing. One of my friends sent me pictures of an ugly dress that she picked out and a pair of heels that didn't match. I didn't tell her that. I thought it was ugly right away. I just told her that she should have a couple of more options just in case she changes her mind. That was still what she wanted to wear. So I just laid it out straight. I told her that the dress was ugly and I didn't want her wearing it to my dinner. She shot back, saying she liked it and was going to wear it anyway, and that I should just deal with it. That's when I told her if she didn't choose a different outfit, she wasn't welcome at my dinner. And now she's all mad at me. She says I'm not the one wearing it, so I shouldn't care. And I shouldn't be trying to control what people wear. I get where she's coming from. But to be fair, it's my birthday dinner and I want everyone to look nice and presentable. Am I the idiot? Are you in training to become a bridezilla? This is extremely controlling and rude behavior. You are the idiot. This isn't a friend wearing a white ball gown to your wedding. This is a friend wearing a dress you don't like. You are horribly controlling and a bad friend. Grow up and get over yourself. That the heels literally didn't match the horror. Having a photographer at a birthday dinner was the first red flag, LOL. You and your friends are teenagers. And what you might consider ugly might be the nicest outfit your friend can afford. Besides, tastes differ wildly. Who are you to dictate what looks good? Loosen up before you lose more friends. That's what I was thinking. Opie is already going down the path of selfishness and self-centeredness. I kind of wonder exactly how much of the friend's outfit is ugly and how much of it is someone with a more experimental or a better eye for fashion. Looks like Opie doesn't want to be upstaged. But here's the real deal. The only times you get to call the shots on what someone wears to an event you're hosting are A, when you're footing the bill for their outfit, or B, if their outfit is wildly inappropriate for the event or dress code. Like showing up in jeans and a hoodie to a cocktail or black tie event. You've told your friend that the Instagram photos you plan on taking mean more to you than the friendship. It's a teenage birthday party, not your wedding. It's not that important, honey. Why would anyone want to attend your birthday party at all? Surprise. You even have friends, actually. Keep up this attitude and you won't have any. My boyfriend, 33, and I, 36 female, have been dating for 9 months. Unfortunately, he doesn't know how to cook and this is the cause of tension between us. We need to loan. It's usually a mix of instant ramen or ready-to-heat frozen meals or cereals and portion meals his mother gives him. I don't eat meat and can't eat many of these. And a few months into the relationship, it became clear he couldn't prepare food for us both. I questioned him about why he doesn't cook and his response was a combination of not really needing to and actually being afraid of it. He explained that he finds cooking stressful because it involves juggling multiple elements that all need to come together at different times. But he mentioned he wanted to learn, so I took it upon myself to start teaching him. Up to now, I've shown him how to whip up deli-style sandwiches, cheese omelets, and even how to make pizza. Nothing fancy, the kind where you buy the pre-made base and add toppings. Teaching him requires me to help him make a list of ingredients and go to the supermarket to help purchase them because he finds it easier when I'm there to do that. When I show him how to cook, I try to be patient and careful with him because I want him to have a good association with the experience. I praise everything he does and I thank him when we sit down to eat. But sometimes I find it challenging. For example, when we made pizza, he asked me if I put tomato on my base before or after oregano. I said it didn't matter and he got upset with me for just not telling him the right answer. This led to a fight. I've been trying to get it through to him that it's okay if a meal isn't perfect. The main thing is that we need to eat. Sometimes I wonder if he might have a learning disorder or something like that. But then again, he's smart and picks things up quickly in other areas of his life. He's always on top of cleaning up and doing the dishes after we cook, and he never fails to thank me for the cooking. Recently, he's been sending me pictures of food he cooks himself. The other day, he messaged me a picture of some boxed mac and cheese with broccoli, and he told me he was pleased with it. I didn't reply and changed the subject. Later, he told me he was sad I didn't say something nice about it because he was proud of himself. The polite and good thing to do would have been to reply with something encouraging. That I'm already doing a lot to teach him how to cook and I don't want to be a 24/7 cheerleader as well. I'm doing all the mental load of organizing food for us as a couple. Usually when we dine out, I pick the place and often he asks me what I think he should order. Acting as a cook-food coach a couple of nights a week is fine because I want him to gain confidence in the kitchen. But there are times when I just need a break. Something about this dynamic doesn't sit right with me. It feels like I'm playing the mom role and he's the kid seeking my approval. So I'm left wondering, am I the one being unreasonable here for not being more supportive when my boyfriend makes something as simple as boxed mac and cheese? I'm sorry, but am I reading this correctly? You had to teach the man how to make a sandwich? Not the idiot. But I wish you could see the eye roll I'm giving you for thinking a 33-year-old needed to be taught how to assemble a deli sandwich. He's wearing you down on purpose and it's working because you're falling for it. If you stay together, he'll get you to agree. It's just easier if you do it. You could so much better than he does anyway. He's all thumbs in the kitchen. You see where this is going, right? This is ridiculous. He knows exactly what he's doing. The deli sandwich jumped out at me too, weaponized incompetence. So she'll take over. Most people learn those basics by the time they're 10. And even if I never made a deli sandwich before in my life, I'm pretty sure I could figure out how to put slices of meat between slices of bread. Yep, he's in his 30s, still getting to go meals from mommy. So how did he make it to 33? He's at a point where he needs me to make a shopping list for him. And even then, he can't manage to get the ingredients on his own without me tagging along. Honestly, I can't fathom how he even respects himself with this level of dependency. The whole situation feels like manipulation, but in a really pathetic way. It makes me wonder, is this really what's left out there if you don't snag a partner in your 20s? My older friends always tell me the dating scene is awful past 30. So it's basically the rejects. Obviously, you're not the idiot. The dude is just being a baby that was coddled too long. So I'm choosing to remain single. It's better than congratulating a dude for boiling pasta. I, 25 female, live with my girlfriend, 30. My brother, 32. His wife, 23, and 2 kids, male and female toddlers, live in a different city. But they came over to our house for a wedding they were supposed to attend. I was originally against the idea because when we spend time together, it always ends badly. But he was extremely persistent. So I asked my girlfriend, and we agreed. It was only for a few days. My niece and nephew are typically good kids, but for some mysterious reason, they turned into little tornadoes the second they entered our house. My sister-in-law has this belief that she shouldn't discipline them because they're just kids and should be free to express themselves and all that. Meanwhile, my girlfriend's a doctor and her schedule is absolutely hectic. She came home from her shift in the afternoon and went off to sleep a little bit. The kids ran around shouting, dancing, the loud music, etc. I couldn't hear myself think, and I was working from home. A bit later, my girlfriend came downstairs. She clearly couldn't sleep but didn't make a big deal out of it. She told me that it did bother her, but she didn't want to cause a scene and she's just lovely like that. At night, when the kids were asleep, I told my brother maybe he could try to keep the kids busy a little bit because they were too loud and it was interfering with my girlfriend's sleep and my work. He said his kids were behaving completely normal and that maybe we should try to wear earbuds like normal people. I said it would make the house more comfortable for everyone if he just told the kids to keep it down. He got really mad when I pointed out that only he and his wife should be the ones to talk to their kids like that. He accused us of being awful hosts and expecting the kids to behave like adults. They ended up leaving a few days after that. My brother went and discussed the whole thing with our parents. When they called me and heard my side, they felt I was being too tough on him and said I should apologize. Should I? I should apologize. I'm at a loss for what? For requesting some quiet at your house, not the idiot. Brother and family should no longer be welcome to stay overnight at your home. Instead, let them stay in a hotel or with your parents. Exactly. When did it become bad or cruel to ask someone to quiet down and be considerate of others? I never understand when I read stories like this. My parents never allowed me to be disruptive or loud at other people's houses, no matter who it was. We were expected to be on our best behavior. All I can say is heaven help the next generation. Please do not apologize. That will only train your family to have temper tantrums when you do something they dislike. This all went down in your own home where you and your partner showed a lot of patience and kindness. Remember, it's your house, your rules. It looks like your brother is upset because your home has different rules than his. It might help to explain to them that it's not about judging their lifestyle. Your life is different from his, and naturally that means your home will have its own standards for behavior. If they want to be welcome, they'll have to adapt.